friends, happy Saturday! It is I, Alphinius Goo, here at Gooey headquarters with Camera Mendy behind the camera. Say hello, Camera Mendy.
Hello. Hello.
Hey, Camera Mendy, do we need to do that again?
Oh, hello.
Yes, there she is, Camera Mendy, and there I am on the screen behind, yes.
I'm wearing my travel hat today.
Oh, the travel, yeah, I can see that's bent.
I actually have something very cool on this front.
You have something cool in this
Yeah,
front?
to tell everyone.
Look at your hat, it is bent.
I know. That's because I was running around. Everyone can attest I was running around the last few minutes.
I mean,
trying to
it's
get everything
bent,
set
it's
up.
completely tweaked.
Okay, well, anyway. I'll talk about the cool thing in a
I
bit.
can look this way to Camera Mendy, it works fine, right? Except for when she's on the screen, then I have to look this way when she's on the screen.
However, we have some other guests in the studio.
We do.
Who also just happen to be... Hold on, I have to get you guys up on
Cut to
screen.
the other guests.
Hold on.
Yes, there they are.
Hatters. Fabulous hats.
So this is Kari and Ryn, and Kari and Ryn are game masters for the Gooey Cube. They have done much game mastering, and we're going to talk to them a lot. But you all can say hi team out there.
Howdy.
Hi.
Yes. Yes, we're going to talk to them about all kinds of cool things that we think you will find interesting. At GaryCon, we had a great time. We had lots of folks and friends and people that we were hugging and saying hello to and playing games with and all of that stuff, and it was magnificent. And I got to play in a wonderful game with Duffy, which was basically an aliens game, and I got killed, and it was terrible. You know, this is what happens in that game. It's kind of like Call of Cthulhu, except for you don't go insane, you just die, right? And I honestly think that he was picking on me because I was, you know, I tried to give him a kiss at the beginning of the adventure or something like that. I don't know, but anyway, I ended up getting disgustingly killed by aliens. It was not a good thing. But Jeff was there, and Jeff was running the stream, and Jeff and I have become good friends over the years, and he's got this thing called Vikings Brand, and he gave me these marvelous little things here. You see these, Camera Mendy? This is beautiful, yes? Rob gave me these marvelous dice, and these are beautiful, and yeah, right here, yes, is that not, can you see those? Yes, I think you can see those. They are really, really pretty. And I'm so pretty, I'm not going to play with them. I'm going to keep them here in the studio as a memento.
Actually played with dice that Rob gave me, and they, so I played in my last Tomb of Annihilation game with them, and they rolled very well.
Anyway, we always appreciate you coming and joining with us on Saturdays. We hope we give you a wonderful, fun thing. We got great stuff to talk about today. We're going to talk about the next contributor's submission that's coming up. Yes, we're going to open that up here very, very soon, and you can be a part of it, and a wonderful reward will come your way if you want to do that. We're obviously going to talk to Kari and Ryn about game mastering at conventions and all the fun stuff that's coming up, and how Gen Con is going to be absolutely amazing. We're going to talk about the writing contest, right, Camera Mendy? Can you hear me, Camera Mendy?
Yes.
You're in the same damn room. You better be able to hear.
I can hear you. Apparently, I'm always loud. I have tried to fix that.
Always.
I just have a very high-pitched voice. It's just very loud. I tried to fix it.
In the office, when we have day jobs, yes, always
I'd like to fix it on the
loud.
audio right now. I'm sorry. But yes, we will talk about the writing. We'll talk about all sorts of things. But
Yes,
first,
yes. We got social media that we're going to do, right? And we're going to do the book club, right? Did you mark the chapter, or do I need to remember what the chapter was? Because I kind of remember.
Sundestia.
Oh, yes.
If we get to the book club.
Oh, we're getting to the book club. We have
Okay.
to. We have to, because I want to talk about Sundestia.
Okay.
And then what else? There's are we giving something away today or not today?
I don't know. Should we give something
We
away
should
today?
give something away today. We'll do it at the end.
Okay, sounds good. I will spend the next few minutes trying to figure out what we're going to give away.
Yes, I already got an idea, so we'll do that. All right, so anyway, so this is going to be a really fun day. We're excited about it. Also, friends, you know, Gen Con has their badge sales out right now. I think they just went up, right? Kari, did you see that? Yeah, they just went up like a week or so ago, something like that. Oh, that's right. I got to look this way when I look at Kari and them. Is that awkward? When so Kari and Ryn, can you see me over there, right?
You don't need to do that.
Yeah, so the badge sales are up, and it's going to be a great fun time, yes?
What are you doing, Ryn?
Yeah, Ryn, what are you doing?
Ryn has all the energy.
You know what, Ryn, I want you to do something for me. So I realized for people who have been more significant contributors to our wonderful world of Zyathé, and in particular game mastering for us and doing a lot of things. And we do try to take care of our game masters with stipends and badges and rooms and stuff like that. But for some folks who really go the extra mile, we did give away these little Gooey Cube necklaces, which are magnificent, that were made by Addie. And I'm having her make a few more, right? Addie, if you're out there, yes. I'm having her make a few more for next year or for this next year. But I realized after giving one to Ryn that we didn't give one ever to Kari. So it is my honor to present you with one of the Gooey Cube necklaces.
Does it say Alphinius?
Or Alphinius.
Alphinius.
They all say Alphinius.
They all say Alphinius. Eddie laughs about that all the time.
Mine says Alphinius, but I'm not wearing it right now. Yes.
Well, interesting. You have one of the classics.
But I'm old, so that
Thank you, Kari, for everything that you do for us.
Indeed. And all of our game masters. And even folks who don't game master and make sure everything goes great, right? Like Kari and Matt and Whitney, right? And Casey, who game masters and always sort of coordinate stuff. I mean, we just have such a wonderful community. It is beyond my comprehension. So anyway, thank you so much, Kari, for truly for just being a part of this craziness.
Absolutely, it's been fun.
Yeah, it's been fun, and it's getting funner, right?
Yep.
Because I'm pretty excited about some of the things we're about to do here. So, okay. What do you want to do next, Cameron? Do you want
Let's
to
chat with Kari.
Okay, let's chat with
Yeah.
Okay, so how are you going to do this? Show me how the screen's going to work. So they're on the screen, and then I'm on the screen. Are you going to be flipping back and forth like that?
Indeed, that's...
You're going to give people like...
that's my plan.
Why don't I just slide over there? So... Oh, I need to look at this camera now. Right there, yes. So anyway, so we have a magnificent thing that happens at Gen Con and at Genghis Khan. And this magnificent thing is we have this room filled with wonderful game masters who run all these wonderful adventures in the world of Zyathé. And it's pretty amazing. Yes.
Yes.
I mean, how many do you remember? How many we had at Genghis Khan? Any guess off the top of your head?
I think
I don't remember, but it was there were a lot of game masters, a lot of games. I mean, we had generally had 7 games going at any given time.
Yeah.
So.
And Ryn, you were like, you just wouldn't stop running the Dungeon of Dewey Nicks. Is that correct?
Yes, I was like, I'm not quitting until these 2 days are over.
But
not quitting.
But Ryn, there are child labor laws in America, and not only child labor laws, there are just labor laws, right? This is, so next time we got to take breaks, right? So basically, Kari, as I recall, she ran pretty much like 10 hours straight, and she took one.
Probably closer to 12.
Yeah, it was morning. Yeah, we couldn't get her away from the Dungeon of Dunix.
I think I'm going to be arrested.
I know, and we're putting it on air live for everyone to hear. So.
Yes. No, it was wonderful, and people were telling me how much they loved you and how much they enjoyed your enthusiasm and all of that stuff. So tell us about the Dungeon of Dunix. How does that work? Look at the camera. Look at your fans are all out there. Say hi, fans.
This camera right here, Ray. Yeah.
Right here, this one right here. Say hi, fans. Say hi, fans.
No!
When you have stars, right, they're just not compliant, right? Okay, go ahead.
It's like a little me.
She is like a... Oh my God.
Well,
I
I do record a bunch of stuff at school, so this makes sense anyway.
All right. So tell us about the Dungeon of Dunix.
So there are 2 different levels for the Dungeon of Dunix. And there are each, I can't remember, is it 10 or 12 rooms?
There's 10 rooms.
Yeah.
There's 10 rooms, and it's all on the table, right? It's all set out.
The first one is crazy. It's going everywhere. There's parts that are up high, there's parts that are down here. It is crazy.
And so people sit down, right? And then what do? So they kind of go through it, but it's not like a dungeon, right? It's not like actually running a game, right?
Yeah, you sit down, you go through the rules, and then there are 4 different things that can happen. You can have the zonk, you can find the Kismis wheel, you can find treasure.
The monster.
Or the monster.
Yes. And then so what happens? If the monster comes out, they get bit, right away? Is that how it works?
No, actually, because there are some rooms that if you immediately attack or something, the room will completely change. There are a few rooms, so you have to wait till everything has been looked through to do the monster.
Got it. So Alexander is the architect of the Dungeon of Dunix. He did a great job. This year we kind of rewrote it, and he did some really fun things with it. And I think people had a great time, right? They were really enjoying it.
Yes. Mandy was there at the dungeon.
It was, and I certainly had not enjoyed some adult libations before I went to the table. Certainly not.
I've seen that before. It's not a pretty sight. No.
Hey, Austin said he had a great time. So.
Austin, yes. Austin is magnificent.
Cheers. Yes.
Casey went a little crazy at the dungeon, though.
I know, at the end, I heard there was dancing and nuttiness.
He waved his butt at Alphinius at the end and called it dancing. We took away some gooey bucks for that one.
Twerking. Right? He took the green bucks, right? He was twerking me or tweaking me. Is it tweaking or twerking or twerking?
I think it's twerk.
Twerk, yes, okay. I'm very up on popular culture, as you can tell. Yes, yes. I for the longest time, I thought when people were sending out messages on Twitter, they were twitting. Is that right? Is it twitting?
Probably.
Tweeting.
Tweeting. Yes, I learned that lately. Yes. All right, so Kari, so tell us a little bit more. So we got this room, and people come in, and then how does the whole thing kind of run a little bit? No, this is your dad's question. So.
Oh. For the Dungeon of Dunix, we, or just in general for the games.
Well, everything's falling apart here. Ryn, be careful. Your microphone is pulled to the max right there.
That's because I had her sit in the seat that you're sitting in with the correct.
And my little thing just fell off. This is low budget production right now. All right, so they come in, right, and we got a bunch of tables set up. So
Yeah.
tell us how the setup works.
So generally, we've got some of our great EOs or our event organizers up there, Casey and Mark and
Mark is a great help at all of those things.
Kari, all of those, and everybody checks in with them. They get sent back to one of the tables, and we've started doing a little bit of tracks where we have the same people sitting at the same table for like Menace in the Mist. We ran 3 sessions where it was the same group of people with the same
Did
DM.
people like that, by the way? So this is progressive, right? So they come and they play the first part on the first day, right? And then it's progressive. So tell us, do people like that?
I think so. I think it definitely is a positive experience for people because you end up getting to have some interaction with the group that you're with, right? And as a DM, it's great too because you really start to understand how each of those players is playing their character. Because
because they get to it's much more experiential than just running 4 hours, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So usually in 4 hours, how does it kind of work? You get a little bit of role play at the beginning.
A little bit, yeah. And the Gooey games are great for that. There's a little bit more option for role play. Because I also run a bunch of Adventure League stuff, which is pretty much you're going to go to these combats, and if you do any role play, you're not going to get through them. But we do, there's usually a little bit of role play throughout the game as well, especially like if you're playing Dark Tide's Night or Menace in the Mist, which are a little bit more on the creepy side, and where you're trying to kind of make the players' characters feel something.
Right.
Yeah.
So I have actually had people come to the booth and say that how much they appreciate the fact that the game masters it wasn't just 3 combats or 4 combats over the course of the 4 hours, right?
Yeah.
So Ryn, did you get to play in any games or did you just run games?
I just ran. I think next time though, I will actually go and play some games for Gooey Cube.
Yeah, you should sign up for at least a couple games besides child labor laws. Okay, we can't do the 12-hour thing ever again. Yes.
You know, at one point, Ryn was rolling dice for the Dungeon of Dunix, and she was rolling hot, against the players. And Austin says, "This is why you're not allowed to roll dice." And so you get that look as a player.
I was probably the meanest GM because last year when we did it, I did really good on Kismius Wheel, so everyone wanted me to do that, and now this year, now I was rolling back really good against everyone.
Yeah, so that was.
So I'm killing everybody.
They were not happy about this. Okay, tell us who this is here. So hold this little creature up. Yes.
This is my little dragon Sky.
Sky is very cute, and I noticed that Sky has a hat on. Yes.
I left the tiny dice bag because I felt the tiny dice I would lose.
Well, that's true because they're little, right?
Oh yeah.
So Sky is pretty cute. Yes, this is where did you get Sky?
From Whisker.
One of the local
and they want to do Gooey Cube
Yes, they were talking to me about that.
Yeah.
But the reason I bought this hat and scarf is because it reminded me of Camera Mandy's hat. So I was like, oh, hey, I'm getting it.
Hold on, it needs to be bent.
Oh my goodness, this is my travel hat. It's allowed to have some character.
There we go.
Kari Ryn, I have a question for you. So you're obviously a little on the younger side. What do you love about Dungeons and Dragons, and what do you love to play in Dungeons and Dragons?
So what I love about Dungeons and Dragons is like moon druids. I just love moon druids.
That's your favorite character?
Yeah, especially when you put a tabaxi out there.
Oh,
That's a moon
yes.
druid.
Okay, so you're like trying to be OP. This is the goal always to be OP.
Good work, Bryn.
I have all kinds of strategies to deal with players like that. So you
You might
play?
want to teach me them so I can do them for like Dungeon and Dunic.
Yeah, so you can pay back. So question, do you play with your dad? Does your dad run games, or do you run games for your dad?
My dad usually runs games. There are some times my dad and I play, and there are some times I help my dad GM. So it's a little bit of everything.
Nice. So do you run home games? Is that what's
Usually, so every Sunday I run Adventure League games at one of the local game stores in Aurora, just to, after the pandemic, I wanted to make sure people had a reason to come back into the game store. So got with them and restarted the Adventure League there. And we did Sundays that way we could have kids come in, and otherwise you're doing like 6 to 10 and
can't.
Yeah.
You school the next day and all of that kind of stuff. And Sundays are great days,
Yeah.
because most people are not working. Obviously some are, but most people don't have to work, and so it really gives people a chance to come in, sit down, and play, and all that stuff. Which game store? Plug them.
Crick Castle in Aurora.
All right.
They're Oz up in the north end, close to the Aurora Mall. So.
All right. So, are there any questions from the chat
Yeah,
for our
feel free
esteemed
to. I
individuals
don't think
here?
I've seen any come through yet. If I missed any, let me know, and feel free to put any in the chat. I'll make sure to shout them out.
Yes.
And then also, Ryn was telling me before the show that she's actually about to run Dark Tides Night for the first time.
You are.
Yes, I've been reading through the adventure. My dad gave me like a stack of like all the stuff. He was like, well, because every Tuesday my dad does a game, and Dad on that Tuesday was like, here, read this Dark Tides Night. Read it.
Only blood. Only bone.
So, Kari,
Only flesh, only blood.
Only flesh. Aha! I see you have been reading
I
it.
know.
Yes. Well, I got this. I got it right here pinned to my knee. It'll be okay. All right, go ahead.
Oh, well, I have a question for Kari, and then I have a question from the chat. Kari, how did you get Ryn so involved in Dungeons and Dragons?
So it was really,
Do you want me to say this one?
Her older sibling and I have been involved in the Colorado Adventure League group for a while. We both running games, and of course she always wanted to come,
But I couldn't, I was
do
too
what the
young.
older sibling was doing. So it started with taking her to some conventions for Adventure League stuff, because it's simple. It's like I said, it's just mechanics of the combat, and just started with some of that.
How old?
Probably about 4 is when I started learning the mechanics, because that's when I was at home and you were like, here, like start teaching me the mechanics.
Yeah.
You would GM and it would be older sibling of mine.
The first games though were probably about 7.
About 6 or 7. Yeah.
Yeah, where and of course, kids are great to DM because they're extremely inventive. They're not stuck in the frame of thoughts that we all get when we're older of, I'm going to do this and this. They're like, I'm going to do this. And you're like, oh, okay, yeah, let's see what happens.
And the funny thing is, with how I found Gooey Cube is, I thought Gooey Cube was just a different D&D game. And then when I found out it was a different one, I was like, it was easy to GM Dungeon at Dunix. I was like, oh, hey, I'm doing this. I'm doing it.
And you did great. You did great. I mean, really, I cannot tell you, Kari, I told you this,
Yeah.
I probably had 10 or 12 people come up to me and say, the little girl who was running the Dungeon of Dunix was so fun. We just loved her, blah, blah, blah. I said, great. Well, please come to my trial when I get arrested for breaking the child labor laws. So there's something I want to do real quick. And I know you know a little bit about this. So do I. We both read about this. So people do not understand, I think many out there, though many are learning about this, the wonderful impacts that TTRPGs, especially ones that use mechanics because of math, right? Those wonderful impacts that they have on kids in terms of a number of developments. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah.
Chime in. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, definitely.
I mean, first of all, it turns them all into nerds.
It does.
We all like nerds, so it's good. Yeah.
Nerds and geeks, right? I was going to say, yeah.
I was a nerd when I was born.
Yeah, you were born a nerd.
I mean,
a nerd, always a nerd, yes.
But yeah, I mean, the mechanics definitely for math, right? And understanding, understanding that, okay, is this a success? Is this not? How am I going to add this up? Hit points, stuff like that. But I think bigger really is the social impact, right? So they learn to, okay, your characters found this out. Well, how would your character respond to that,
Reasoning, right?
And that is, I think, huge. I think it helps with just getting a broader perspective and broader emotional connection to other people.
I completely agree. Also, here's another thing, right? Now, Ryn is obviously an outgoing kid. She was probably a little crazy when she was a little kid too, right? That's my Kimmy, right? Mikey,
I've seen video.
Yeah, Mikey was much more reserved, but Kimmy was like this. But I will absolutely say that I believe that the interactions, so role playing and all of that stuff, actually help them come out of shells, right?
Yeah.
And not be so kind of behind. And kids on the spectrum, it actually really helps with socialization. Yes. So you've read about that, yes? Yeah.
D&D is half the reason I'm not as shy as I used to be. Because I used to be really shy. And then I just I'm not shy anymore because I'm I go play D&D with a bunch of people.
But you see, this is the thing, right? So all of a sudden here is someone. I mean, there's not a lot of you're 11, Ryn, or 10. 10. Ryn is 10. Okay, there's not a lot of 10-year-olds. Really, we didn't do any prepping, right, Kari? You didn't do any prepping.
Nope.
Just gonna come on down and we're gonna have a chat. Not a lot of 10-year-olds gonna sit in front of a camera with a bunch of friends out there, even if they don't know them, right? And they could be all effusive, and you know what effusive means?
No.
It means outgoing. You know what outgoing means?
Yes.
All right.
That's one thing I know.
Effusive and outgoing. Yes. But this is the marvelous thing, right? It adds to all of their sort of their growing, right? And I think for Mike, who played a lot of Dungeons and Dragons, Kimmy and Devin did not. Devin moved in when he was 15, and he was a basketball player and wasn't so interested. Now he's more interested, right? Now because he wants to play with his sons and all of that stuff. And but it really, Mike was kind of shy, and it really helped with Mike in terms of being more outgoing and all of that stuff.
Absolutely,
So. You said you had a question in the chat?
Yes. So Jen wants to know, has Ryn ever got some school friends involved in games and shared the math?
You want to talk about what you're doing, what you're trying to get going?
You're doing something, eh? I didn't know about this. Excellent question, Jen.
So I want to maybe do a Dark Tides night with some of my friends, because some of my friends actually know D&D or want to know D&D. And so that's the one main thing. I've been tempted to give them some of my D&D books, here, read this, it has the basics.
Isn't there a simplified thing online, right?
Well, yes, there is, but there's also what we got her, and I think these things are great, are Jim Zub created these 4 books. It's and they are, it's
well, there are actually
monsters,
6 different types.
Might be 6 now, but
it's okay.
But there's monsters and
creatures, dragons and treasures, wizards and warriors and weapons. I know a lot of them. I have them sitting in my room.
They're kind of targeted, and I think they're great for anybody. They don't have any stats in them, but they have information, lore on the creatures, lore on Asarak, all sorts of different things.
So
even Tiamat and Bahamut.
Yeah, somebody you don't want to meet.
No, I am a Bahamut person, not
Think
a
about
Tiamat.
Tiamat can have 9 different meals of you. Arm, leg, right, foot, right? Because there's 9 different mouths, right? So you got 9 different options, right? You take the soup.
Don't listen to him, Sky. Don't listen to him.
Back off, Sky. Run away. Anyway, so
Can I just make an observation here? So I imagine that me and Ryn have been playing around the same amount of time, but she knows so much more about D&D than I do. I'm
Mandy
blown
doesn't
away.
really try to learn the rules.
I do try and learn the rules, but oh my
Your dad has told me. Yes, I have inside information. Yes.
I just love how informed she is on all of this stuff. It's like she's like a sponge and she just knows so much. I love it.
One of the great things about teaching kids is they absorb. They just, and like I said, I think we've bought a bunch of those books and she's reading them. We were playing Tomb of Annihilation and she's like, oh, this has got Asarak in it. What's that? Oh my goodness. I want to meet this guy.
Well, and the thing is, that was another thing we didn't mention, was reading and comprehension, right? Because that's also very, very much tied to people who play these games. And also, by the way, all you geeks and nerds out there.
Too many big words in those books.
But you must look them up, right? Like, you learned one today.
The amount of times I had to get the dictionary out of my room, like...
Reading and comprehension. But then, what was the word we learned today? Effusive. And it means?
Outgoing.
Yes. Oh, look at Alphinius, teacher extraordinaire. Yes. So,
I think my teacher teaches me better than you do. No offense.
we need a Band-Aid for that bird. So listen, just y'all, we're gonna wrap it up here real quick, but I want to tell you truly, both of you, thank you. Truly, it is magnificent.
Yeah.
To have you be a part of this community and have people tell me the things that they tell you, when they play a game at your table and play the Dungeon of Doonix.
And before we wrap up, though, I do want to talk about Fantasy Grounds.
Oh, we need to do that because Ben and you.
Yeah.
But Ben was the primary.
Ben's done it. I've just helped him out with some coding.
Can we just hold on a second? Can we just give Ben a hand here?
Yeah. I mean, I've done some small conversions of like 4-hour modules, and those take me like 8 hours. So I don't know how much time and that was just for me to run it, not to give to somebody else. So the amount of time Ben's put into that's just crazy.
Well, he wants to run it for his people, right? So that's why he does it.
Yeah.
But then we actually are putting it up right on Fantasy Grounds. The problem is, it's the same problem, right? There's so many different modules and so many things on Fantasy Grounds, and nobody really knows, right? But I think over time, as more and more people know us, right? But if you play Fantasy Grounds and you want to get Darkest Dream on Fantasy Grounds, you actually give support to Ben for doing this immense amount of work.
Yeah.
Now, Ben also did something which we're about to put up. He made 24 of the pre-generated tokens. He paid Bernardo, a marvelous artist, to do so. And we're about to put those up on the website. And Ben wants to basically he's taken almost all the money. But he wants to take all the money so he can make more tokens, right? So Ben, we love you. You are magnificent and we can't wait.
Yeah.
We're going to see Ben. So,
that's right.
So Ms. Goo and I, along with Camera Mandy and Adam and Kimmy and David, are going to UK Games Expo. You know Kimmy? You know Kimmy well?
No.
You're going to meet Kimmy, yes. Yeah. But anyway, so we are going to UK Games Expo at the beginning of June. And so we're going to hang around there a little bit and see James Curris and some other of our friends there.
Yeah. Oh, 2 months from now?
Yeah, 2 months from now.
I am so excited.
It's really exciting.
I know.
Yes, it's really exciting. So we're going to go out there. But then after we get done doing that, we're going to travel sort of to the east. And we're going to end up hanging out with Ben and Giza. We're going to see Tyrone in the Netherlands and some other folks as we travel about. We've made so many friends from Gooey Cube. It is magnificent.
Will I be able to come in?
No, you cannot come this year. You must have. Oh, look, excellent. Yes, this is much better. No hat. There's no hat. Yes.
I don't know. My friend Mithrander gave me this hat and told me that it was. That a good wizard should always have a hat to keep the rain off of his face.
It was the rain, right? It was the rain. I just cast a shield spell, and then it's not a problem, right? And then I don't end up with hat hair.
Alphinius, while you're over there, grab that bag.
Grab this bag.
The gold bag. It's next to your desk.
Okay, I'm gonna do my best to not screw up.
Carrie brought in some presents.
Who did?
Carried it.
This carried to my left.
Yes.
There's 2 of them in there.
Okay, I'm grabbing it. I'm lifting this up. Right here. Okay, we're going to open this up.
Be careful opening it.
Okay.
It might bite.
Fortunately, my saving throw versus poison is quite good. Yes.
No, it's
That's not it. That's not it.
Well, what is this?
That's just filler for the giant bag.
Filler.
I did not bring the bag.
No, this is just the gift bag that I put all of the gifts in. which is why there's like bubble wrap in there. They're very heavy.
Good God, Mandy.
They're
this
very
is just...
heavy, which is why they're at the bottom of the bag.
Yes, they are fairly
You're
heavy.
taking a
Oh my
whole-
gosh, how much bubble wrap did you put in
It's a
there?
very big bag.
Mandy, we need to change this up. We need to have like the gift box or something. All right, I'm going to be very careful and
Okay.
pull up this first. Oh, it's a bottle. Oh. Founders Estate Pinot Noir. Yes, from the Malsenberg Vineyard.
Absolutely.
So,
and
you better tell us about this.
oh yeah, I mean,
I helped make it.
whoa, just a second.
All right.
Tim, you're pulling our mics.
Totally lost it or just partially lost it?
Well, it popped off.
Oh, okay. You have to tell us. First of all, Ms. Goo's favorite is Pinots.
Oh, awesome.
Yes, that's Ms. Goo's favorite.
So, I mean, I have lots of hobbies because I can't stand to not have something to do. So one of those is making wine. But I have a little town in East Verdestia in the Seredic fiefdom.
Yes, you do.
Well, we do
called,
technically.
technically,
Malsenberg.
you
Yeah,
got that.
technically you're there too. Yeah.
Malsenberg.
So I decided after having a couple Pinot Noirs that it needed to be from the Malsenberg vineyards.
Magnificent.
And this is the only vineyard allowed on Tharme Freudenberg III's tables at Tharme Castle, just to the south of us.
Can I read this? I got to read this.
Oh, absolutely.
It says...
It's actually, Mandy's actually
Mandy's-
posting the labels.
Oh, that's great. Vines imported from Chile, excellent use of the apostrophe, to the Cerebric fiefdom, the only vineyard allowed on Tharm Fruitenbombles the Thirds. Tharm Fruitenbombles.
It's good that Alphinius knows how this feels right now.
Well, I don't have my glasses on, so it's really, really hard to see at Tharm Castle. So people don't know. Some people may not know, right?
Yeah.
But you do have a town
Yeah,
named after you
yeah,
in East Verdestia.
yes. Yeah, in
Us.
Named after us.
Yep.
Yes, you collectively, and there's lots of those, right? If you've been around and you get the maps, and sometimes in the books, and you look and you see something that is maybe similar to your name, first or last, or some nickname that we all know you by, and you think, gosh, that's very similar to my name. It is probably because yours truly put it there intentionally because it was similar to your name. Yes, that is the Easter eggs that are all over East Verdestia and some in West Verdestia. So that is where Geisengax came from.
Yeah.
Yes. My friends, give them a hand. Yes,
Yes,
give them a
thank you
virtual
so
hand.
much for
Yes,
joining
magnificent.
us.
Thank you for coming. Ryn, you have a good time?
Yes.
So we can open a bottle of this right now, and just like snorting. Yes. Is that illegal? I know it's illegal on television.
We don't even have like a thing to open it with.
Well, then it looks like I'm just going to have to take them home. But the problem is, I'm not going to really want to open this. This is kind of special. We need to keep one of these
At
in
least
the studio.
open one.
I'm going to open one and keep one.
Yeah.
Is that okay with you?
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for these
Will you two
marvelous
hang
gifts.
out here with us while we do the
Yeah.
rest of our show?
Yeah, and if you want, and we're going to keep you mic'd up. So
Yeah.
if you want
Yeah.
to throw something down while we're doing the rest of the stuff.
I do have one thing to say, and
go.
that is to anybody out there who is interested in DMing, hasn't DM'd, the materials put out by Gooey Cube are great. They're much easier to follow as a new DM. And if you've DM'd at home, but you've thought about DMing at a con but are nervous, it is one of the best things you can do. You experience the new types of players, new types
Yes.
and even going to cons and sitting with other game masters, you just learn a lot. I've learned a ton just from DMing at conventions.
Yeah, and
Same.
really, absolutely, it's great. It's great for you, right? It gives you so much confidence and practice, right? Practice makes perfect in all things, right? And so I could not agree with you more.
Yeah.
And if you are a game master and you would like to maybe game master at Genghis Khan and by the way, I think I talked to Luke and I talked to Dave, who runs a lot of the stuff for Luke at the convention. And I think we're going to try to do a Gooey room next year at GaryCon. So I think, we'll see that. There's a number of friends who have already approached me. Rob has told me he would like to. And plus, of course, when we do this, right, we give money to people, which helps them be able to come attend, right?
Yeah.
And so And we don't demand people run the whole damn weekend, although some of y'all don't listen to reason. Yes.
Sorry, I
God, she's
know.
got a tongue of
She comes by that honestly. Both her older sibling and I are both average between 16 and 24 hours of running games at conventions.
Yeah. And that's a reasonable number to run, but you don't want to do the whole time. You burn out, it makes you tired. You want to spend time with other people.
Yeah. And play a couple games because that's part of the reason you're there.
I had such a good time because I got to play at GaryCon and I got to play at Genghis Con and I haven't, right? And so Mandy's really pushing me. But this next year I'm actually going to run because of the campaign. Some people supported us at pretty high levels, and I'm going to run a special game at GaryCon, and I'm going to run a special game at Genghis Con, which I'm excited to do that. One of my favorite things is the game master. It's one of my favorite things, right? I love playing, but I love game mastering the most because I love telling tales, right? Tell a tale.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to leave them here. Wait a minute. We're going to leave them here, and then we're going to go over there. Cameraman, are you ready to flip back and forth and all of that stuff? All right. So I'm going to slide back to my thing here, and I'm not going to mess up your mic there, Ryn. I'm not going to now. Do me a favor, sweetie. How quick can you reach down and grab that little thingy down there? You see that? Yes, you got this. Excellent job.
I got it.
All right, you are marvelous.
I made sure to cut back to make sure that we saw the Ryn growing under the table for the puffy ball. Is that what's going
it's the
on
puffy
here?
ball.
Okay.
I don't want to be sounding tinny.
Okay.
Anyway.
Thank you all so much for bearing with us during this low budget production.
I think people like it, cameraman. I think honestly, there are a lot of people out there who have told me.
As Harry said, perfect is boring. So
Perfect is boring, Harry.
boring.
Absolutely. We're going to show some. I'm going to do social media right now. Let's do that.
Yeah, let's go
Because I
ahead.
really want to show a couple of these miniatures that Harry put up, right?
Yes.
And feel free, right? Feel free. Now, Harry's out there right now. Carrie. Maybe you gotta figure out how we could do a couple portraits here.
Oh, we were talking about
Yes.
this sort of before the show.
I have something to talk with you about that I think is maybe a little unique for the portraits.
I would love to. I mean, we are well over 300.
Yeah.
And they're all going in the gloom port and in the
While we're talking about portraits, I'm going to show this one from Mark.
Oh, Vane, yes.
So this is one that we just did, and Mark put together this awesome graphic because we also did floor plans that he purchased on the website, and so we did floor plans for Vane for his goldsmithy, and then did his portrait. So.
Yeah, and this is part of what we're doing in the box sets. We have all these character portraits because cities are made, Carrie, you know this, right?
Yeah.
Cities are made by the people you interact with.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So I'm really excited about this. So Vane actually has a curse, right? There's a whole wonderful backstory that goes with Vane and why he looks like he does and all of this stuff. And it's really, really magnificent. And Vane is a jeweler, but not just a jeweler. Yes, there's always other tales.
Of course. Should always be other tales.
Absolutely. So Mark, that's magnificent. And Benjo did this one. It's just great. Just really a great image. So I'm looking at the TV, which is why I'm not looking at you. Right?
That's fine. This one is a Harry Mini that's based on a custom portrait of my brother, Lawrence.
Yes.
And I thought this, what is the...
Korat.
The
This is a
Korat.
Korat,
Oh my gosh.
yes.
This looks... I sent it to my family chat. I was like, oh my gosh, this thing looks badass.
Yeah, so the Korat.
Sorry, bad butt. Friends in the studio.
Bad butt.
Bad butt.
This is the new gooey swear, right? Bad butt.
Bad butt.
Bad butt.
Bad butt.
Okay.
Looks bad butt.
Gosh, you look so bad butt right now.
I've heard it before.
I think I could get arrested for saying that. I'm not going to say that at all. God, I'm getting arrested all the time around here. Anyway, the Korat are these magnificent creatures that are in the northern climes, right? Nordruka, even Ablum, right? And even in Sublum, though they look a little different in Sublum. You'll learn more about that later when we do that. But the Korat are about nigh on the size of elephants, right? And they are hairy, and they have these huge horns. And the Gurund and the Arachnoids and the northern hominids the various tribes that are up there domesticate these as best as they can, right, and use them as riding mounts as well as beasts of burden. Though the Quenda are better for beasts of burden, and there's wonderful tales about them. But they are. I wish we should have grabbed the picture, cameraman, because we could have shown it along with it, because it would really give everybody the feel of it. But maybe we could. Anyway, Harry Magnificent, and Harry Put. Lauren says, "Oh yes." Then we move into this. So for those of you who don't know, and if you have a sec, just take a peek at my mini factory at Harry's Minis, because Harry is doing lots of miniatures from the world of Zyathé. And lots of those miniatures are actually people that have done portraits or have had their portraits done. And in this case, this is Commander Donald Arnold. Donald Arnold, and is that not, that's really, really good. Donnie says he has really cool, poofy hair. And there is Andrea, yes, the Lady Andrea, who is the High Lady Andrea. She is a wizard and a battle mage. And Commander Arnold and the Lady Arnold are the patrons of Blood for the Con. And Harry went off and started sculpting, and I saw Andrea and excuse me, I gotta say it right now because it's Andrea when it's not Andrea, because Andrea is the character, Andrea is the person, right? And Donnie is the person for Donald. So they are the patrons, and you will love them. They are fantastic, and we are really excited about the Blood for the Con thing that we are doing. In fact, that's part of what I'm going to talk to you about in a minute when I talk about contributor submissions. Oh, Tacticon, yes, coming up, yes. We need to make sure everybody knows about this. This is the second convention that Donnie and Andrea put up. And it is a really, really fun time. It's now, Kari, you've gone to Tacticon, yes? Why don't you take a moment and tell us about it? And Cameron, we just switch over to Kari?
Okay, yes, I can.
Oh, she's going to see.
Have I gone to Tacticon?
Low budget production.
It just takes me a second to get there. There we go.
Tacticon's a great event. Tacticon is more focused on board games and miniature gaming, but there's always a ton of role playing that happens there too. So we're there. It is kind of a little bit smaller than Genghis Khan, probably closer to like half the size, but it's a blast. It is. We've got a lot of great conventions here in Denver, and it's
absolutely. And Kari, they play a lot of tabletop war games there, right? So if you like Warhammer 40K, if you like Warhammer Fantasy Battle, these kinds of things. Tell us a little bit about that. Ryn, I'm looking at you. I see you on the camera. Look really interested in what your dad's saying right now. Yes, look right at your dad and think, Dad, you're so smart. Yes, okay, go ahead.
I was going to say, last year, Casey was doing some intros to BattleTech. That's done there. There's Star Wars Legion gets played there a lot of the like you said, the tabletop games. And then there's always also the Pathfinder Society, and the Adventure League always shows up with role-playing games there as well. But it is focused primarily on the tabletop combat games.
I'm going to Tacticon even if you won't let me.
That's what I was going to ask you. So, Ryn, do you play just Dungeons and Dragons, or do you play these tabletop war games as well?
I've done BattleTech. It was a little too hard for me.
Yeah, there's some complexities to it, right, with all the measuring and those kinds of things, and the various types of weaponry and all that stuff.
A little bit.
Yeah. You'll get there. You're smart. You're smart as a whip. All right, cameraman, let us move to the next thing. Yes. Oh, wait a minute. I was finishing up this. I want to finish this up. So go to my mini factory and check out Harry's Minis, because for $1 a month, you can support him. And if you want to be really crazy, you could support him with $3 a month and get these extra things. So he's awesome, and we are just proud and pleased at many levels that Harry came alongside. Right, Kari? This is
absolutely,
magnificent. What we've done. And so there we are with Ryn. Ryn made my day because she. You see yourself up there, Ryn?
Yes.
Yeah, there she is. She made the Gooey Cube RPG sign, which is now framed somewhere.
It's now framed, and if you walk in, it's the first thing you see when you enter our office.
When you enter our office.
I made that sign 2 or 3 months before the con.
Yes. It's magnificent. Oh, yes, and then Tim made our day, because Tim showed us his shelf, right? And yes, you're definitely going to need when chapter 5 shows up. I think you run out of room, and certainly when So Kari, I don't know if you know this, But is that right? Oh, that is right. Right. Yes. So the boxes for our adventures are those size. So Dark and Haven and the Gloom Port are almost an inch deeper.
Yeah.
That's going to be outrageous.
That will be awesome because the hardest thing to find any source for is a town or city.
Yes. And I want to do Prom de Dole. And I want to do what? Oh, did you lose your little ball too? Yes.
My little poofy.
It's a little poofy thing.
Don't stress about the
So
balls.
listen, I stress about the poofy.
I don't have one on either because I lost mine earlier today when I was messing with all the audio stuff. So
anyway, so
windscreens.
I love a great city, but the problem is that people don't make them because they're not super profitable, right? They're not. It's hard to make money.
Yeah, but as a game master, it's one of the hardest things to come up with on your own.
Absolutely.
I mean, and yeah, like WotC's done one. They've done a book on Waterdeep, but the city is only like 10 pages, and the rest of it's the adventure. Kobold's got like City of Cats, which is
Meow.
which is I think a little bit better than that. But cities are.
Kari, I'm going to tell you something. First of all, we're putting our heart and soul in it, right? Also, we have all these magnificent contributions that have been brought. All of the characters that are being made by folks themselves, as well as others that we are adding.
Yeah.
If we can finish it off the way I think we're going to finish it off. Of course, the maps, right? The maps are just ludicrous, right?
Yeah.
Nobody would spend we spent ludicrous amount of money on those maps, right? And I think people will say in the future, these were the Gloomport and Dark and Haven together was one of the greatest cities ever made for TTRPGs.
I think so. I mean, there's, like I said, everything that's out there. You may get a book. It may have 50 pages of descriptions and
3 books.
Yeah.
3 books, probably 300 pages of content.
Yeah.
One being you to use where you're going through the city, right? Which has all the locations. The one that sits next to it is all the cool little things that can happen, right?
Yeah.
Because when you're going through a city, my friends, right? There's lots of things that happen, right? Some lady dumps a bucket of the chamber pot right out the window, right? That's never a good thing, right? It's you know what I mean? That's not stinky goo.
Since we're talking about Dark and Haven, and I'm wearing my travel hat today, I will say that Kari is working on something very fun with my other hat, which could result in your party being able to travel with a very cool artifact for a time. So
Really?
Yes.
Has this been run by me?
I think it's great. It's going to be so much fun. So anyway,
I feel a conspiracy coming on.
I don't know that there's a conspiracy.
Yes, the most magnificent thing is the community. It is unbelievable because all these wonderful things that wouldn't have been in the world of Zyathé without you, right? Without all of you. And that is so fun. And characters that wouldn't have been in the world of Zyathé without you. There would be no Zixquamoose, right? There would be no Hogue, right? And Zane knows exactly what I'm talking about. Most of you don't, but many of you will when you get to the Gloomport. Then you'll meet Hogue, right? It's just there'd be no Torlok Silvermaw, right? There would be no horrific Valandians, yes. Right, Joshi, right? I mean, it's just so many wonderful characters and so many wonderful things that have come to the world of Zyathé because of you. And it is so fun to make a community-based world. And I guess we're going to talk about Sundestia. Is that what we want to talk about right now?
No, because we're not even done with our
we're still
stuff
social
yet.
media.
I don't think we're going to get to Sundestia.
Yes, we are. What time is it right now?
We have 10 minutes to go.
Oh my gosh, Camera Mendy, you're always, you've got to keep this show on a better schedule.
It's fine. I think we do Sundestia next week, and that'll be great. Okay, this is very cool. You are starting the artworks for the Dungeon of Dunix, which is going to be released this summer. So
yes, so there's a number of very interesting rooms. So I showed some sketches of them. This one I changed a little bit. It's going to have a dragon skull on the back wall, and we're going to move some things around a little bit. But I'm pretty excited to see how these rooms are going to end up turning out. TJ is a great artist and has worked for us for a long time, and there's a couple other artists that I need to engage now. I've been putting it off too long. David is one of them, and some others that I really want to give a chance to. I also met a couple of artists that I want to help. This is from Keyshore. This was just for fun. I put up this door, and and asked people to talk about it a little bit. And boy, there was some great comments. So many wonderful imaginations. Kari, you agree with this? Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
When you're reading the tales in the den and the things people say.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it is,
Yeah, that people come up with great ideas. A group of people can always come up with better ideas than one person individually. So, yeah.
I agree with that. And that's what I love about the Gooey Cube, right?
Yeah.
Yes, we have made a great foundation, and I do believe that, right? And I do believe it's founded in plausible fantasy and so it's suspension of disbelief is there. But goodness gracious, the Blue Pearl Sanctuary that Geeky Hoodie came up with that's in the Gloom-Port, right? And Father Jiki. I mean, can you imagine Zyathé without Father Jiki now? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, how could Zyathé not have Father Jiki, you know? and it just goes on and on. So like in The Blood for the Khan, you're going to meet Elijah Sulrima, which is a marvelous character. And it is William. It's William's character, right?
Yeah.
And it's just... this just goes on and on and on, right? The real problem I have is that most of the people don't want their people to be, they're not like Josh. They don't want their people to be bad folk, right?
That's so ironic that you bring that up. Kari was anyway,
Kari's going to be a bad guy?
Well,
I'm good with that. I am totally good.
I'll be the little sidekick.
Green, you know well. Yes, Zoldothrin is a Valandian evil guy par excellence. And then, of course, Alexander represents Kalnovik. So...
Yeah.
But I still don't have anybody who wanted to be Quinn, who was the vampire in the Vile Desolation, and so we'll see how it keeps panning out, right?
Okay. Let's finish up social
Oh
media.
yes, so we went to the movie Honor Among Thieves.
I saw it last night.
Yeah, was it good, cameraman? Yes.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I'm very easy to please, though.
Yeah, it was.
But I'm looking
well
forward,
done.
now that I've seen it, this is spoiler free because Ryn has not seen it yet. And I'm sure people in the chat have not seen it. I am now looking forward to being able to read all the articles that have been released, like breaking apart the mechanics of the movie. So
I want to.
Dad, what are you doing?
Trying to be a proper parent for a change and making sure we see it before we take her to go see it.
I think it is okay. I think
so,
everybody
yeah.
has their place, right?
My wife and I went and saw it, and it was it was, but we just wanted to make sure because I went to watch a horror movie, and there were 5-year-olds in the audience, cowering in their moms.
I would never do that. That is, especially some of these, they're just too realistic, right? It's just horrific. So anyway, we went with the 3 Grandy dudes, and Devin and Angelita and David and Kimmy, and we had a great time. Yes, that was fantastic. Ms. Goo went as well, and she took a nap. Right, Ms.
what did she not? She didn't.
Actually, she got out and she said she thought it was pretty good, but she was very tired, so she just took a short snooze. So,
nice.
But no, we had a wonderful time, and it was. I'm proud that they put out such a good product, right? And again, I'm a bit of a forgiving soul, so I know some people out there, no way, what they did was reprehensible, and it was reprehensible. But when they backed up and said we're not going to do this reprehensible thing, tend to be a person who's like, okay, I'll take you at your word, and then we'll see what happens. But fool me once, right? Shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. So there's probably not a second chance, right? This with this old guy, and even still, we're probably.
Well, technically, this is the second chance. Maybe third chance.
That's fair, but it's been a long time, right?
Yes.
But yes, but I think they learned their lesson this time. I think that the understanding.
We'll see in 30 years.
Yeah, well, you'll probably plug your thing into your brain and just play Dungeons and Dragons that way, right?
Hey, this is a funny meme.
Yeah, it was cute, right? That was funny. Bear with the staff, please. I know a druid when I see one. Yeah, it's very, very funny. It's magnificent. All right, let us keep going.
Okay, I just have a couple more things. This was a great video with like an amazing puppet, beyond amazing puppet.
And did you see this, Ryn? This is worth looking at. This is pretty good. Did you see it, Kari?
No, I haven't actually seen that one.
Yeah, Jim put this one up, and it's really good. Jim makes some very nice posts, and this is really worth checking out.
All right.
No, I don't have any of those sites.
Oh, you don't?
No, I don't have social media. I don't have Facebook.
Yeah, you can't. You
no
have
Twitter.
To look at your dad's. Yeah, not yet. This too creepy. Not in the Gooey Den. The Gooey Den is not creepy, but everywhere else. Yes, so
I mean, we have some creepy stuff in the Gooey
Yeah,
Den, but it's
yeah.
just
Creepy, but not.
But yeah, creepy in a
Well, we are-
fun
we are
D&D type of way.
PG-13, Kari, right?
Like
Yeah,
or
remember that,
what is
right?
this? Is this Amistad? No.
So this is Amistad.
Yeah, this is Amistad.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Amistad is in East Verdestia and is the last of the flying cities of the Etherns. And it is like everything that was involved with the high magics, it is fearfully corrupted and terrifying. And many have gone there to try to retrieve Ethernic artifacts, and few at all have ever returned. And this is, this is a little bit where we trend a little bit towards the Cthulhu-esque kind of thing, with a little more gothic horror mixed with sort of this really creepy, elder god kind of thing, and corruption and all of that stuff. And we are going to do Amistad as an adventure, and it will be a city kind of adventure, and I'm very excited to do that someday. All right, cameraman. What do we
Okay,
got
the
left?
last thing, we have two things. First off, you were supposed to announce the contributors.
Yes, so we are going to do contributions for the Mornwood.
Oh,
Yes,
very
you
nice.
will get to have little places, little encounters, things like that in the Mornwood. And we're going to have to talk about it a little bit. I want to make sure everybody understands what we're trying to do with the Mornwood, because they're like the infamous 15 teleporting shops that showed up when I said I wanted to have make places in the world of Zyathé. I want to make sure things are thematically consistent in the Mornwood, because it's a very important place in the lore of the Republic and the lore of Darkenhaven. And because we're putting this out a little bit before people have had a chance to sort of read all the Darkenhaven materials, we're going to have some chats about it and make sure. But I'm really excited to do this because the Mornwood is very special to me, and I think it's going to be very special to people who play in the world of Zyathé and run in the city, because you want to have this wonderful place that is literally right across the river that can be adventured in from Darkenhaven. And that is kind of unusual in the worlds that are created, because usually you have to go a ways. And we wanted to have a place that people could adventure that's right there and then come back to the city and have city adventures as well. So it's really dovetailing nicely. And of course, that's where Blood for the Crown is situated, and that's what we did the Kickstarter for. So that is where we're going to be. We'll be sending out emails and telling everybody about when we're opening it up. We're going to give everybody sort of information. We'll talk about it next week, and I may do a Discord meetup about this. I may do a number of Discord meetups.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, we're talking about bringing those back a little bit. So Camera Manny and I are having those discussions. If we didn't have day jobs, wouldn't this be a lot simpler, Camera
Oh my
Manny?
gosh, if I could do this full time,
Yeah, we're the whole world
I might even
of
take a pay
difference.
cut for that.
Yeah, me too. Wait, we already have.
I know,
Yeah, we
I
work
know,
for
I know.
free. Yes.
Okay, and
In
then
fact, actually, I pay for the privilege of.
yeah, I know. Really quickly though, Harry was wondering about some of our production timelines.
Okay, so right now, let me tell you what's going on. We were going to drop the digitals for Legends, Lore, and Libations, which is not 100 to 125 pages. It's almost 200 pages, like what we do.
What?
Yeah, it's almost 200 pages.
What?
It's so good, cameraman.
Oh my
You know
gosh.
Cody, right? Cody.
This was supposed to be a little
Cody
book.
loved the read, and Keith did such a good job. And the arts that we did with the pen and inks, it is so good. And you will love it because you will get to tour the Republic from the eyes of a traveler. And the tales that Keith told are so good, and Kari helped so much, and yours truly did a little bit of work in there too, and it really reads well. It's novelesque, and it's very Volo. It's very Volo's guides. And I think those of you who remember those are going to love it. So we're going to drop the digitals for that here next week. In fact, probably Monday. I just had a few more changes that I wanted to make, and we weren't quite ready. And so that combined with what we were doing for our day jobs made it impossible. Now, our next goal is to try by the early part of May to drop the digitals for Darkenhaven, and very quickly thereafter ship the Darkenhaven boxes. And we're going to do an interim ship with Darkenhaven boxes. So that will, if you're waiting on Darkenhaven, you just got to wait a little bit longer, and then there may be a few other things that we're going to put in there as well. So that will leave us with only the Gloomport, the Dead and Fallow, and the Glooming Doom. The Glooming Doom will be the last adventure we produce, and we'll produce it along with the Gloomport at the same time. That will probably be another couple of months, okay, after we do Darkenhaven. The Dead and Fallow, we're going to push and we actually got pretty far down the road, but I made the decision not to finish it before we finished Darkenhaven. So we are very, very close to fulfilling the entirety of the Kickstarter, and I know we are tremendously late, but I hope that all of the additional materials, the interim shipments, going way above and beyond in terms of the quality and the experience and the costs of them and all of that stuff, I hope makes up for the fact that we definitely were late in doing this. I do not believe we will be late with the Mornwood. I think we'll be pretty close to on time. And we've got to also finish the Dungeon of Duunix, which will be shipped out with those folks here June, right? That'll be shipped out in June. Is that correct, Kari?
Yes. Now, very specifically though, we need to talk Chapter 5, and then we got to wrap up.
Chapter 5 is done. Chapter 5 is just waiting on the box.
Where are we at with the box?
The box is done. It is going to press. We found a mistake. Thank God we found the mistake ahead of time. And it is now going to press, and the boxes will take a couple of weeks. That's about how long it takes for the boxes to produce. We will also have all the materials, and then Chapter 5 is going to come out too. So hopefully, for those of you who have Chapter 5, you're waiting on Chapter 5, and you're waiting on the Darkenhaven box, you'll get both of those together. And I'm really excited for that. But you should already have your digitals for Chapter 5. If you don't, you need to let us know. Okay?
Okay. So let's go ahead and wrap up. Thank you.
But what about Sundestia?
We cannot go. Okay, like for reals, guys, I have to go to Disney on Ice today. So we have to wrap up.
Okay, just take one more moment. So I just want to make sure everyone knows Sundestia is magnificent. We already have the maps done. The maps done for one half of it, right? Because we're going to do West and East just like we did with Verdestia. It'd be too much if we tried to do it in one book. And you will learn about the 3 tremendous empires that are there, the Blood Mountain, right? You will learn about all kinds of amazing things in Sundestia. And our marvelous Sundestia group that just cared so much about this, and we began the process, and then we just said, there's no way with all the other things we've got to do that we can just dive into this right now, has done such a good job of really giving it an African, Egyptian, West, India, sort of all mashed up, sort of like we did with Europe in Verdestia, east to west and north to south. And it's going to be, obviously, it's going to be steeped a little bit in the mythologies of those locations, right? But obviously made fantastical, right? Just like what has been done in Verdestia was done with those mythologies. But it is going to be unique. It is going to be wonderful. It's going to be respectful. It is going to be considered. And I think you are going to be astounded when we go down this path and we begin working towards Sundestia.
And we're going to talk more about it next week.
And we're going to talk more about Sundestia.
It's going to be amazing. We're going to really dive in. I'll even bring some graphics with me.
Graphics. Yes, we can show the Dutton Sarasi.
It'll be really great. So,
yes. All right. Do you want to kick over to them and we can let Ryn do this? So, Ryn, do you know the Gooey Cube tagline?
I don't remember.
May all your adventures be
gooey.
Darn close.
Sticky.
All right, look at that camera.
Can you say it?
Right there at that camera. Look right at him. Right there. That thing. Right there. And say, may all your adventures be sticky.
May all your adventures be sticky.
Ha-ha! Excellent. Thank you, my friends. You are marvelous. Have a wonderful day. We will see you soon on Goo Morning, Zyathé with camera Mandy behind the camera in her bent hat. Ha-ha! Bye.